You're not burned out, you're unorganized and undisciplined. Most people hate this truth, which is exactly why you need to hear this today. Welcome back to the Marcus Allgood Show. I appreciate everybody listening and watching and sharing the show. And let's get into it. Today we were talking about how you are not burnt out, you're just unorganized and undisciplined. Everybody says that they're burnt out, but 80% of the time you're not burned out. You're unorganized, overstimulated, and undisciplined. And blaming burnout has become the new socially acceptable excuse for avoiding responsibility. The myth about constant burnout. I used to think I used to be burnout, but it wasn't just burnout. You just weren't, I just wasn't excited about it. I wasn't organized. I was just all over the place. I just didn't know what I was doing. And now people talk about getting burnt out on working out. I never get burnt out on working out. Like, it's 1 hour a day, it's set plan, it's in my routine. You don't get burnt out on working out. You get burnt out on the others. I mean, you're not getting burnt out. You're just getting unorganized and you're just avoiding the things that you need to be doing. So burnout has become a catch-all phrase. You're avoiding the hard things, being inconsistent, lacking structure, not managing time, poor sleep, stress, and emotional chaos, saying yes to too much, putting off what matters. And like I was talking about with working out, it's avoiding hard things. You get burnt out because you don't want to do it anymore. You really just don't want to do it anymore. It's not because you're burnt out. It's just because you don't feel it anymore. Your motivation's gone. You don't have the discipline to keep doing it. A lot of people just go into the gym, don't have a structure, don't know what they're doing. So 2 weeks comes and they're like, oh, I'm not seeing any results, or I just don't want, I don't know what to do anymore. So I personally pay for programming. It's easier for me to pay for programming than it is for me to come up with my own stuff all the time. I could do other people's programming, but doing my own is one of the hardest parts, because you'll definitely not do the hard things. You will program some stuff that you're like, oh, I don't want to do that. You cut out the run-in, you'll cut out the GHDs, like you'll cut all sorts of stuff out that you don't want to do, instead of doing the hard stuff that you needed to be doing. Not managing your time, that's 100% true. Most people don't manage their time right, which causes the burnout because they always feel stressed when they're doing it, or they're running out of time, or it's just like a constant, they put it on the back burner and then they like, oh my gosh, I gotta do this, and they start rushing to do it, and that makes them feel burned out. So you're not burned out, you're scattered, you're reacting, not planning. You're using burnout as a shield to avoid confronting your habits. Same comes with meal prepping. People say they get burnt out meal prepping. They don't have a plan. They don't want to do the plan. They don't want to come up with the meals. They don't want to do this. They don't want to eat the same thing every day. So they put it upon themselves to get burned out. Like, it's easy to do. It's easy for people to make the excuse that you're burnt out. You're just not disciplined enough to go do it. Most people aren't burned out. They're just mismanaged. It's hard to keep going. It's hard to be in that boring state, but boring states pay big dividends. And getting into that state and staying there is where the discipline comes in. So one of the reasons why this is pretty controversial is because people identify with burnout. They post about it, they bond over it, they wear it like a badge. But there's the uncomfortable truth. If you're constantly burnt out from life, you don't have a burnout problem. You have a boundaries problem and a discipline problem. This shakes people because it puts accountability back to where it belongs. And that's on you. That's on them. That's on you. If you don't take responsibility for what's going on right now, you are the problem. Nobody else. You can blame everybody else. You could say all these different things, but it's you. You are the one that needs to take responsibility for everything going on in your life. I take full responsibility for all the decisions I make, and that being able to do that has changed my life for the best and forever, on taking responsibility of what I've come through and what's happened to me and what's not happened to me is my responsibility. So what's actually causing you overwhelm? You don't prioritize your day. You just let it go. You just wake up and you're like, oh, I gotta go to work, and that's it. You don't do anything else. You let everyone else's emergencies run your life. Anybody that calls you, you're like, yeah, I'll be there. You're a yes person. Like, I'll go fix it. You want to get caught up in the drama. You want to listen to all the different stuff. You multitask like crazy instead of focusing on one or two things at a time. Like, definitely focus on one thing. Do it for a while. Then once you're done, go do another thing. Or, set a time limit. Like, I'm going to work on this for 4 hours and I'll work on the other thing for 4 hours. But multitasking like crazy just creates chaos in your life. You have zero structure around sleep. You should be trying to go to bed and waking up at the same time every day. You spend more time scrolling than focusing. That's definitely true for everybody. We all do it. And the hard thing for shift workers, especially, ones that have a shift that changes all the time every day, it's hard to have a sleep structure, but it's definitely a high priority if you can do it. I know there are times when I don't get to bed on time and I stay up late, but I wake up early. That's going to create for a bad day in 2 days. And it's just one of those, like, it's so much better if you can go to bed at the same time, wake up at the same time. Another problem is you don't say no. You don't plan your week. I don't really plan my week. My weeks are kind of the same, but so I kind of fly by a little bit, but nothing too crazy. You're mentally overstimulated and underrested. That'll get you every time. Like, once I start feeling a lot of pressure is when I'm super tired. And I'm like, oh, I gotta go to bed. Like, being unrested is one of the telltale signs of what happens in your life. Like, if you start feeling stressed out or you start getting depressed, I'm not saying it fixes all depression, but that day that you're just feeling super sad, you don't know what's going on. It's probably because you didn't sleep very good 2 nights in a row or a couple nights before. When your life has no order, everything just feels heavy. It feels out of whack. It feels chaotic. And it just doesn't have to be that way if you put everything in an order that needs to be done. Your life is not hard. Your habits are. And so if you fix your habits, your life is going to get a lot easier. I was talking with somebody today, and they went to the doctor, and, they got to lose 40 pounds. So they asked, and one of the other guys like, you don't want to ask Marcus. He's going to just tell you the harsh. It'll be harsh. And I'm like, it's not harsh. It's just the truth. The truth bombs are hard if you make them hard. But the reality is you need to hear it to let you know that the doctor's telling you the truth. And you know what to do. You just don't ever do it. I know what to do on a lot of things, and a lot of things I don't do. But definitely for eating right, it's calories in, calories out. Just make it work. Stop overeating and start undereating, eating a deficit, and you can lose weight. It's just one of those things that everybody knows that that's the formula, but nobody wants to do it. So how do we fix it? We create structure. Plan your day the night before. Block your time. Make decisions ahead of time. Plan your night, your week, your day. Like, plan it all out. Put it on a planner if you have to. Plan it in your head, but try and stick to it. Reduce the inputs, reduce the scrolling, the noise around you, the people trying to take your time, trying to waste your time, and always just trying to be on the phone. Less unnecessary stimulation. Don't put yourself in places where you're going to get overstimulated or there's a lot going on. Like, stay in your house, stay in your work, guard your territory like your life depends on it. Stop saying yes to everything. It is definitely okay to say no. We've talked about a lot on the podcast. Burnout comes from being a people pleaser, not from being overworked. You just keep adding stuff onto your plate. Like, the more you put on your plate, the more overwhelmed you're going to get. Stick to one priority at a time. Multitasking is the illusion of productivity. Like I said, stick to one, put a time block on it if you have to work on 2 different things. But the main thing is, like, get the one thing done. I'm guilty of trying to multitask, even though multitasking is not really a thing. You're still working on one thing, just multiple times throughout the day, taking your focus off of one, then having to restart the focus on the next. It's really a time sucker of all your time. Build discipline daily. Show up, finish, follow through. Discipline gives you energy, not exhaustion. The more disciplined you are, the less you have to think about everything else. And the more energy you're going to have. Like, you're going to get through your day a lot easier instead of having to try and figure out what are you going to do that day? Or, I'm just going to scroll TikTok, and then next thing you know, I have to do 10 more things before the end of the day. And you're going to rush to do it, and you just exhaust yourself. So, in closing, For the next 7 days, don't say the word burnout. Instead, ask yourself, what have I failed to organize? What boundary did I not set? What distraction did I entertain? Fix those and watch your energy return. You're not as tired as you think you are. You're just overdue for structure. That's the pod. I appreciate everybody listening. And if you got any value out of this, please share it. Thank you.